The hidden gem. Once in a serene village nestled in the Himalayan foothills, a young man named Arun lived a simple life as a potter. Known for his vibrant pots and vases, Arun was often visited by traders and villagers alike. However, his modest demeanor and shabby attire often made people dismiss him as unimportant. One day, the great Buddha arrived in the village with his disciples. As was customary, the villagers gathered to listen to his teachings. Among them was a wealthy merchant named Devdatta, clad in fine robes and jewelry. Devdatta prided himself on his status and wisdom, always seeking opportunities to impress others. During the gathering, Buddha announced, "I need someone to prepare a meal for me and my disciples tomorrow. Who will take up this responsibility?" Devdatta immediately stepped forward, saying, "Master, I am the wealthiest man in the village. My home has everything you could desire. Allow me to host you and your followers." Buddha smiled, but turned his gaze toward Arun, who was standing quietly at the back of the crowd. "What about you, young man? Will you host us?" The crowd erupted in murmurs. How could a potter, living in a modest hut, manage such an important task? Devdatta sneered, "Master, with all due respect, Arun can barely provide for himself. How can he serve you and your disciples?" Buddha, unfazed, replied, "We shall see tomorrow." Arun, though surprised, accepted the request with humility. That night he worked tirelessly. He borrowed ingredients from kind neighbors, cooked a simple yet hearty meal, and arranged his small home to accommodate the Buddha and his disciples. When the morning arrived, Buddha and his followers came to Arun's home. The meal was served on clay plates made by Arun himself. Despite its simplicity, the food was prepared with such care and devotion that the Buddha praised it as the finest meal he had ever had. The disciples, too, marveled at Arun's generosity and resourcefulness. One of them asked, "Master, why did you choose Arun over the wealthy Devdatta?" Buddha smiled and began a parable. Once, a merchant found a dirty, unpolished gem in the market. He dismissed it as worthless because it lacked luster. But another man, a jeweler, saw its potential. He took it home, cleaned it, and polished it until it shone brighter than any other gem. Many people judge others by their outward appearance, wealth, or status, just as they judge a book by its cover. However, true worth lies within. Arun's heart was filled with kindness and dedication, qualities far more valuable than riches or fine clothes. Devdatta's wealth may shine on the outside, but without humility and compassion, it is as empty as an unlit lamp. Hearing this, the villagers were humbled. Devdatta, though embarrassed, approached Arun and said, "You have taught me a great lesson today. Forgive me for underestimating you." Arun replied with a smile, "There is nothing to forgive. We all learn in our own time." Buddha stood, addressing the crowd. "Remember, wisdom and virtue are not bound by appearances. Look beyond the surface, for that is where true beauty resides." From that day, the villagers began to value Arun not just for his craftsmanship, but for the light he carried within. The story reminds us all, never judge a book by its cover, for the greatest treasures often lie hidden within the simplest of forms.